I think one of the exciting things about camp is it's a mix of old and new. When we come to camp, we sort of expect the traditions. There's certain songs we want to sing, certain activities that we do, but at the same time, there should be something new to experience. We're all a part of something that is special. I would like to think that a camper feels and a staff feels that when they come here, camp's a little bit better because they're here. The unit is better because each camper is there. It strips you down to your raw personality. For me, it was a place where I kind of figured out who I was. I remember sharing things with people I met here within days that I hadn't shared with people I'd known for 15 years. This is my happy spot, right here, right now.
Hi.
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 Hi, I'm Rosa.
I'm Amelia.
I'm Jacob. Andre.
Alex.
Henry, I'm from Seattle.
Portland, Oregon. California.
Vancouver, BC.
Madrid, Spain.
Tokyo, Japan. And my favorite activity is, I think, craft shop.
My favorite activity would be the rock wall climbing.
Gotta be outdoor cooking.
The ropes course.
Probably drama.
Anything on the waterfront. I just love being in the water, but my absolute favorite part of camp is the singing in the lodge.
My favorite part of camp is the absence of electronics.
My favorite part of camp are probably all the memories.
The camp community.
The freedom.
Definitely the hugs.
What I love about camp is being able to come back every single year and consistently know that some things will be quite similar and then other things will have changed. And you come back and you can really check in with yourself and say, who have I become in the past year? Do I like it? Or what's changed and how can I build on this for the next year or the rest of my life?
Wake up, Foresters!
Here in the Wester, we all live in teepees made of canvas, and a number of our youngest campers usually live in canvas tents. You can make your teepee pretty darn cozy, I think. Some people will bring hanging shelves, others will carve a little coat rack out of a downed branch.
Talking. Failure to draw 2 cards. When we get to camp, the first thing you do is put wood under your beds to make sure they do not sink into the ground. We put Tintins in our teepee in case there's a fire, and we use salt water.
The thing I love most about living in a teepee is all the natural light that comes in through the canvas. It's really cool just to come in the middle of the day and it's like illuminating.
It's the most satisfying thing ever. You wake up and you know you're about to have the best day of your life. You walk out of your teepee and your best friends are like all around you. It's the best. I love waking up in my teepee.
Living in a teepee is a huge environmental change for most people, and especially doing it for 4 weeks to a whole summer is the opportunity to learn how to live in a really small community effectively. Part of Camp Nor'Wester's mission statement is providing a unique outdoor living and learning experience. And part of that program for us is a lot of the activities that we do here. So moving as units together creates a really unique opportunity for unit mates to lift each other up and support each other, creating a stronger bond.
Being on an island, the waterfront plays a really big role at Camp Nor'Wester. On the waterfront, we have hunt canoes, smaller, more traditional canoes, kayaks, and we've got 2 types of sailboats, the Picos and the Lightnings. Campers, when they come down to the waterfront, learn technical skills like steering canoes, paddling techniques, also how to do rescues in the canoes and kayaks. The waterfront sends out at least 1 or 2 overnights each week, and they also are able to go further and explore the islands nearby, as well as just head out to the kelp bed to see the seals that live out there, maybe harvest some kelp, then to be used at a different activity. This year, the 11-year-old boys, the Rangers, got a really amazing opportunity to take the hunt canoes out for an entire afternoon, which is something that usually is reserved for older campers. But this particular unit had really shown that they were ready and excited and respectful of what it meant to go hunt canoeing. And so we spent a really long time talking about the significance of the canoes, and then they got to take them out and paddle them around. These are the hunt canoe ones, so these are the ones we'll be using today. You can see some of them have a metal tip. Out. In the water out. I had rangers coming up to me for weeks saying how excited they were and how cool it was. It was a really cool chance for them to work together to achieve a goal.
I am a Nor'Wester camper. I respect myself and others. I am responsible for my words and actions. I work hard, I think big, and I am kind. I am a Nor'Wester camper.
We're in the middle of a really rich ecosystem, and we're really lucky to get to live in the middle of Puget Sound in this really beautiful place where we have gorgeous tide pools and a marsh to explore and the forest. So in the nature department, my job is pretty much to help the campers explore the island, whether that's through pulling snails out of the tide pools and humming them into dances, or pulling dragonfly larvae out of the marsh and being really amazed by all of the life that's around us. Look at it, it's just dancing for you. He's into this. The sea lemon is one of the largest sea slugs on the Pacific coast, growing 4 inches. What I feel I'm here to do is encourage exploration and curiosity for all of the things that we live with.
Every summer is so unique, and what I love about 2017 is the creativity and zaniness that has come out this summer. We have a blueprint of what really works and what is successful, and that is carried forth in our traditions and things that we know are important. And then mixed in there are all of the creative little things that people bring each summer that we can't predict. And so that keeps it fresh, it keeps it alive, and helps us to thrive.
This summer at Outdoor Cooking, we've revamped the old Adobe program to become a more innovative and integrated program that talks more about cooking in the wilderness. And hopefully, as campers come more and more often to outdoor cooking, then they'll be more involved on their overnights and take away some life skills about how to chop an onion, how to cook over the open fire, how to light a stove and simmer at different levels. We're trying really to show campers a holistic approach to eating and to cooking together. We might do cauliflower crust pizza one day and then make some flourless chocolate cake the next day. It's an adventure every time.
Today in Outdoor Cooking, we're making 2 different types of loaf. One is squash and one is beans.
We're the Foresters, and we're cooking latkes. This is my first time. I didn't even know what they were. And they're basically like a potato pancake.
Hi, we're the Troubadours and we're making banana bread today.
We're the Voyagers, and right now we're making carrot cake inside of an orange peel, and then we're gonna cook it in the fire. And it's gonna be really good. I think that's probably funny.
My approach to cooking has to do with fueling your body and nourishing your body, and then nourishing your relationships with others. So when you cook together, you create something together.
About once a week, campers are scheduled to have a session with Trader Horn. They can buy whatever kind of goodies or necessary items that they need. It's a chance to have something sweet, or it's a chance to have something to remember camp by.
Each week you get like a budget to buy like candy and snacks and food that like you wouldn't normally get at camp. And then especially with like all of the stuff you get, you can bring it home and remember camp while you're like wearing your sweatshirt or using your water bottle or something, and that's really cool.
One more time for the people in the back. Craft shop. The craft shop. Yeah, it's the freaking craft shop. The craft shop. You better believe it. Leave it in the craft shop.
What we teach here at the craft shop, I like to consider more than just crafts, but actually life skills, things such as sewing or carpentry that really allow them to be independent, creative minds, artistically and personally.
There have been some really creative and interesting projects coming out of the clay room. We've had boxes, mugs, Mancala bead balls. We do mainly wheel throwing on the pottery wheels. We also do hand building and sculpture. We have island clay on John's Island, just about a minute's walk into the forest. We've done a few sessions where campers have dug up their own clay and then made different projects, so that's really exciting.
This is the fiber arts room where we have lots of different yarns and fabrics, and campers are able to work on a loom to make various carpets or weavings to hang on a wall. Fibers often kind of form the core part of a camper's project, and then they're then able to take it into another room and add to it to make kind of a final finished product.
My favorite part of craft shop is probably sitting here making conversation while making a paracord bracelet and just hanging out.
This is the Triple P room. It stands for Paper Print Press, but there's many more things than just paper printing and pressing. We do a lot of silk screening and tie-dyeing. Campers have the opportunity to actually print lots of cool designs on shirts that they can get here in the craft shop. We teach them how to use bead looms to make cool friendship bracelets, and they can make a lot of projects that they can take home with them.
In the woodshop, we've had so many exciting projects this year. We've had a bunch of Mancala boards and Tetris boards and jigsaws. It's really cool to see the creativity that the campers bring to such a structured medium. What's really great this year is that the canoe is being carved just behind the woodshop. So we've been able to go on little field trips to meet Davey and Steve Brown, who've been carving and working on the canoe.
This year we added a new program with metalworking, which has been pretty exciting to bring to these campers. We have a lot of work with rings and necklaces and bracelets or small sculptures. We also have a small torch in order to be able to solder metal and create professional looking pieces. It's been really exciting to bring this new program to camp, and I can't wait to see how it continues in future years.
I was singing with my sisters. I was singing with my sisters. I was singing with my
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is our hammock city, and this is where just like basically everyone comes and hangs out whenever we have free time. Almost everybody brings hammocks to camp. And actually, I didn't bring one, but my TV mate brought 2 and he gave me his, which is so fun.
Musical really is a great addition to camp. It lets campers like myself express their individual talents in a very nice way. When you hear the whole camp clapping to you, I mean, it's very welcoming to hear. It's just one of the many additions to camp that makes it what it is, a very welcoming place.
Catch me. Roads. Take me home. To the place I belong. Camp Nor'Wester. John Island!
Special days tend to be all camp activity days, so it's where we're all doing the same things together.
So it's 4th of July, and every unit is making a boat out of milk cartons to race.
We have a pie competition, so everyone makes pies and they get awards and stuff, and they're delicious.
Yep, that's a muffin pie. Happy Wayfarer.
And then there's carnival.
Today is the Olympics. We woke up with our faces painted and we do activities to try to earn our team points.
And all of the fish are delish. And all of the fish are
We have salmon and garlic bread and baked beans and potato salad.
eating and eating. And all of the fish are delish.
Some people choose to eat on driftwood.
At Camp Nor'Wester we get cedarwood from the beach, so driftwood.
It also adds seasoning to the salmon. Very true.
I got to get back to my flock. Caw! Got to get back to my flock. Caw! A wing for a hand. A wing for a hand. I could be Arabian. I could be Arabian.
During potlatch games, we were all gathered watching the tug of war. They were all riled up and cheering for their respective teams, and then they started tugging, and instantly the rope just split in two and both teams fell over, and it was such a wonderfully funny experience.
Oh, hey.
Didn't see you there.
When campers come to the garden, we have them water, weed, flip compost sometimes, plant new beds. It's important to teach kids about gardening so that they know where their food comes from, and when you actually grow it yourself and realize how much work goes into it, you value your food a lot more. One of our favorite collaborations to do in the garden is with outdoor cooking, where the campers get to pick stuff, harvest food that they have watered and cared for themselves, cook it, and see exactly where their food comes from, and get that farm-to-table authentic experience, which is super cool.
At archery, we start to see kids working on their hand-eye coordination and their patience, as archery can be very meticulous sometimes, as start looking at how small things can actually make a big change. We practice at different ranges, and we slowly start moving kids back the more experience that they get. We have an acronym called SNOOTABARF that was meant to keep the shooters checking themselves to make sure that they are being safe out on the shooting range. At the end of each session, we have the kids shoot for awards, and it's a really good place for them to start competing in a really respectful manner, where everyone's cheering each other on and everyone's, trying to do their best, but also try to get everyone else to do as best as they can.
So at Camp Nor'Wester we try to offer a variety of different meals. We want to keep some of our famous traditional meals on the menu. So Killer Mac is a big deal, Taco Night is a big deal, and lasagna. Those are kind of three mainstays that campers really like, and I think they would miss if we didn't have them. At the same time, we're trying to always introduce new things and to just help campers explore a little bit of different foods that they might like to try. So for instance, we have a nice ratatouille that goes with our Killer Mac now instead of rolls. It's great when the parents can write back to us and say, my kid never tried that at home, and it's great that you fed them that at camp and they really liked it. Part of our kitchen staff training is really involving the team development so that we can learn to operate as a good team and have a good flow around when we're working hard to make all the meals.
So the activities that we have here at Camp Ops allow kids to develop skills in simple construction, basic hardware, and how to properly conserve electricity waste, plumbing waste, and the bleach and compost, which we feed to our on-island pigs.
When Nor'Wester campers come to drama, we play lots of different types of drama games, and of course, I tell them stories sometimes.
And what does the C stand for? Characters. And the R? Relationship. And the O? Objective. And the W? Where? And the where is what? Shoot. Alright, great. So, now that we have that baseline, do we want to try some improv games? Yes!
Drama really is an activity where kids get to express themselves in their creativity, they get to build confidence in front of their unit mates, and it helps build a good group dynamic for the kids.
Yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red! Great!
And we, of course, plan for campfire skits and things like Coffee House.
Chowder House! Fight bars, Chowder House! Fight bars, Chowder House! Fight bars, Chowder House! Fight bars, Chowder House! Food for you and me. Fight bars, Chowder House! Food from the land and sea. Fight bars, Chowder House! Food for your family. Now that's the Chowder House. Fight bars, Chowder House!
Oh, and there's Opry House. Opry House is a great big show that's put on at the end of the session. All the kids and staff members alike come together and they perform monologues and scenes.
All right then, where are they? Run, Terry! All right! All right, Terry! Right here, we've got the plan. He's this way. Here, right?
At Nor'Wester, we have a very, very rich history, and that's something to celebrate. And whether it's practicing techniques or methods or events that have been around for a long time, alumni and current campers from all generations really can have that shared experience again.
So the reason that we provide native cultural activities here at Camp Nor'Wester is a long-standing tradition between the Quagil families of Vancouver Island North and the home family and the camp community. We spend time teaching first about the territories and origin stories of our peoples and our families. We also teach young people to play traditional games and to experience some of the stories that bring us together. And we also take them out on the Hunt 22 canoes. The tremendous opportunity that's provided through native cultural activities and Indigenous education programs provides a much clearer and more accurate and authentic story of the Indigenous peoples of this territory. And being able to provide young people a glimpse into the unbroken line of tradition that is represented by the big house that stands here, it allows them to understand the tremendous human story that we all get to experience in this great Salish country, now referred to as Johns Island.
The ropes course is a place where units come at first to do low ropes activities and then to move on to some high elements. The ropes activities might be walking the unit across a series of tight ropes from trees without anybody falling on the ground, or climbing up an obstacle that we call the vertical playpen.
On belay.
So it's climbing.
Skylar's climbing.
I'm on Skylar.
Okay.
We need some music for Claire though. Let's do a camp song that we all know because we all know.
Try and get both feet on the tire so it doesn't swing. Like both feet on the top.
John, do a backflip.
Like one on either side of the rope. It really helps.
The thinking behind all of these ropes elements is that they provide the units and individuals an opportunity to physically have a metaphor from which to look at challenge.
You're flying, Phoebe. You're flying.
Challenge by choice, which we are now actually calling challenge plus choice at the ropes course, is the idea that regardless of the extent of the challenge that you're doing, you are being challenged in some way. We hope that on the ropes course, campers learn how to give constructive feedback. And all of our low ropes activities are followed by a pretty comprehensive debrief in which we ask the campers, how did that go? How did you feel about your own participation relative to your unit mates? Did you feel like you could speak, like your ideas were heard? For us, safety is a baseline, is a number one priority, and we like to involve campers in belaying and in spotting because we think it's a great opportunity for them to learn about trust in each other and to really be given that adult responsibility of keeping each other safe.
On belay.
Belay on.
Climbing.
Climb on.
Rocking.
Rock on.
This is the brand new climbing wall as of this year. As you can see, this is a 30-foot tall wall, and we'll have up to 3 people climbing on the wall simultaneously.
We're the first session mountaineers, and we're the first ever unit to go onto this here climbing wall. We spent the whole morning learning about knots, like harnesses, and how to be safe, and now we're ready to climb.
And when your climber starts climbing, in like one motion, you're going to go up and then bring it down to break, put a hand here, slide up your other hand, and then go up again.
I'm really excited because I love climbing personally, and I think it's an excellent addition to our life at camp.
Where's our sir?
What I love about the Camp Nor'Wester dances is that they're just so inclusive. Like, you get to be with so many of the other units, and just like, it's a really bonding activity. It's just really cool to get to dance, and it's something that's just so unique and really cool about camp.
When the camp moved to Johns Island from Sperry Peninsula, music was one of the elements that the directors decided needed to be at the core of camp moving forward. And it is so core, really, to so many people's connection to camp. We've got a huge variety of songs. We've got old sea shanties and Irish songs and American traditional stuff. And in a way, we make them our own by singing them at camp also. We sing them everywhere. We sing them at campfires, in the lodge after meals, and at chapel, and pretty much all day, every day.
Chapel is a camper-led activity where the entire camp joins together to reflect with our neighbors and reflect with ourselves. We've had chapels on patience, loss, responsibility. People make themselves vulnerable and allow themselves to open up And I think that's something that makes camp really beautiful.
To go on an overnight, you either stay on island or you can also go off island, set up tarp shelters and set up dinner, and the counselors will teach you how to, say, make a pita pizza or a silver dollar. Sometimes you'll play games or have like bonding exercises.
We did sing it. Had a bad time this year. Already, that was
It's a really great way to connect as a unit and become more in tune with who you are and how the unit flows. My big trip, I went on Mount Baker and we summited. I love big trips because I think big trips are a cool opportunity for kids to experience more of the outdoors. I think they have all helped me grow as a person and learn what my strengths and weaknesses are.
We just got back from our kayaking big trip and it was awesome. Heck yeah!
Even though I was completely wiped, at the end of the day, I have never been more proud of myself.
I got something for you.
Actually, it's so much fun.
It's really special when we come back to camp and you're welcomed home.
There's so many amazing stories to tell. Like, I can't choose just one. More stories just keep coming, and it's just like a whole big story to tell when I come to camp.
What I love about camp is that it's very, very authentic. It feels like a very authentic community, and every relationship that you create with someone at camp matters very, very much.
Campers face challenges they're never going to try at home, but they do it in a place where they're enveloped by safety and support. And hopefully most of them will find some aspect of it that feels like home and that they love, making this an amazing place to be a kid.
Although camp does seem like a wonderful paradise, it requires the camper to really immerse themselves in camp activities to fully get everything they can out of camp. They invite us to grow, they invite us and challenge us to make interesting decisions for ourselves that can help us grow as people and as friends.
Yeah.